What's up, y'all? What's it? What up? I'm sorry. So today we're going to be doing a story time, okay? Just like we did on Sunday, okay? Y'all remember the guy who sold like everything that was going to be for him for a bowl of soup? Yeah, and he wasn't even conned out of it. Like, because Jacob told Esau exactly what he wanted and exactly what he was going to give him. And Esau was like, deal. So, last week or Sunday, we talked about that. Today, we're going to be talking about that same story, but from a different point of view. I love those. So, we're going to be going from Jacob's point of view this week instead of Esau, the one who did the manipulating instead of the one who was so quick to hand over everything for soup. Okay, so first, a couple questions. One, have you ever compared yourself to anybody, right? And then let's take that to the next level. Have you ever compared yourself to somebody and then came to the conclusion that you were not as good as blank, right? And has this ever been the case with somebody who you were actually close to, not necessarily relationally, but proximity wise? For example, your family or people who are supposed to be like your friends, your best friends, maybe just anyone like that, right? I know I used to be the queen of comparison. That's all I did was compare. I compared everything because to me, comparison gives you more information about something. It tells you more about something. And to a degree that is true, but I was using it in a way where it was only hurting me and making me feel less than. Okay. So I want to take a look at this because throughout all of Jacob's life, from birth, Jacob was a manipulator, a deceiver, and he was so competitive, specifically with Esau. Okay. And somebody said this and it just brought out so much to me. I was like, wow. But the whole reason that Jacob is like this is because he doesn't realize that he has his own favor from God. He doesn't realize that he has his own importance, that he has his own thing that is special about him, that he is awesome and meant for big things just the way he is. And because of that, he tries to get what Esau has, right? He focuses on getting what Esau has or being like Esau instead of embracing himself. Okay, so let's look at that. In the previous video, we already explained the importance and the significance of the firstborn, right? Esau and Jacob were twins, so they were in oh my gosh. They were in Rebecca's womb at the same time, okay? And they was fighting in the womb. Since the womb, they were fighting, and Rebecca was like, ah. Okay. And finally, when they give birth, I know Rebecca was like, get up out of me. Get up out of me right now. But anyways, when they were giving birth, Esau came out first. He was the older brother, but Jacob was holding on to Esau's heel, like as a newborn. No, you will not leave me. I will be first. Like, you feel me? That's how I imagined him. But he's holding on to Esau's heel out the womb. Like, Jacob so badly wanted to be first, and he like, dang it, you got out before me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine fighting since the womb? Like, literally. So even then, Jacob wanted to be in Esau's spot, right? From birth, it's like he understood that the firstborn is more regarded than the secondborn. And because of that, he so badly wanted to be the firstborn because he so badly had to be someone who was special. Okay. And that gave him significance. I want you to ask yourself, what is giving you significance and making you feel special when that really has nothing to do with your identity, right? You feel like, oh, if I have more friends, then I will be more significant, then I will be able to prove that I am special. When even if you have 0 friends, you're still just as special. You're still just as significant, right? Oh, maybe if I have this amount of money, then I'll be significant and special, when really you're significant and special even without it, right? So Jacob believed that if he was the firstborn, then he would be significant and special. And that is nowhere near true, even though I'm sure for a long time it looks like it. And it doesn't help that Esau is their dad's favorite. Their dad's name is Isaac. Esau is Isaac's favorite. So I'm sure that doesn't help Jacob with his whole insecurity and feeling of needing to be special, needing to be significant, right? I'm sure he was like, dang it, if I would have done one more flip in that womb, I would have been out first, and I would have been the dad's favorite. But moving on. Once they grow up, they don't give us a lot about, their young lives or anything, but they do let us know that Esau was Isaac's favorite and Jacob was Rebekah's favorite. They also let us know that Esau was a hunter, right? Like typical men of that day were. So that was the position that was esteemed for men. They're like, oh my gosh, you're a hunter. You're a man, right? So that probably helped Jacob with his feelings of insecurity, because Jacob was willing to, just stay at home, cook with his mom, and there was nothing wrong with that. But because of how they saw men, that made Jacob feel insecure about himself as well. Tell me if you can relate. And even in the Bible, when they describe it, it says Jacob was a plain man. Thanks. So flattering. Like dwelling in the tent. So moving on, as they grow up, Jacob is making some food, right? He making some stew. And Esau is coming back from hunting or from the field. I guess he wasn't hunting considering he was so hungry. But anyways, he was coming back from the field all tired. He's just exhausted. And he hungry. He is so hungry. And he's like, Jacob, my God, feed me, please. You already made the food. So can I get some of that? Can I get a little bit off the corner? Right? And Jacob is like, sell me your birthright. He not just gonna give him the soup just because that's his brother or nothing like that. He said, sell me your birthright. What? Okay, and just a reminder, your birthright, when you are the firstborn, you get access to like everything. You get access to the riches and whatever gets passed down once your parents die. And Jacob wanted that birthright. He wanted to be, even though he wasn't the first child, he still wanted to feel that significance of being the first child, because he felt like being first would give him significance. And so throughout this, that is what he's trying to do. Even right here, he's still trying to take what is Esau's, because he doesn't realize what is already his. Okay? And I want y'all to stop again. Like, all of this is for reflection, right? Because how many times, do you ever try to focus on taking what is someone else's, right? You want what someone else has. When you see someone else has it, you're like, oh my gosh, I want it. And you get jealous, right? You feel less than if someone has something that you do not. If someone is something that you are not. And the whole reason that comes up is because you don't realize what you have yourself, and you don't realize who you are yourself, right? See, later, God makes a covenant with Jacob. He doesn't make a covenant with Esau. The Lord tells him that he will bless him and he will have nations come out of him, like his descendants will be as much as the dirt on the seas. Or I'm sorry. It's going to be a lot of descendants. Okay, it's going to be a lot. I don't remember the exact metaphor, but it was something like dust in the air or dirt on the ground. It was uncountable, unmeasurable. And even in the beginning, before they give birth, the Lord tells Rebekah that there's going to be 2 people coming out of her, right? But the older one is going to serve the younger one. He says that in the beginning, but Jacob doesn't know that. All Jacob knows is that he is the younger one, and normally the younger son is less esteemed. Normally the younger person is less esteemed. Normally this type of people is less esteemed, right? And because of that, he's so focused on trying to become Esau, he doesn't realize that technically he's so focused on trying to be older, the oldest one, the first, and he doesn't even realize that God already said the older one is going to serve the younger one, right? In this case, the older one is not more significant than the younger one. But Jacob doesn't know that. So he's still trying to be like Esau. So he tries to get his birthright from Esau. He's putting in all of this effort to manipulate and take from Esau what is his, instead of growing what is his own. So he succeeds in that. He gets Esau's birthright, as we all know from the last part, okay? But then it keeps going. He doesn't stop there. So now Isaac is about to die, right? Isaac is coming close to death, and the final thing that he wants to do is put a blessing over the oldest son, his firstborn. That was a very big thing back then, because whenever, like, you know, prayer is so powerful and blessing people is so powerful, okay? So whenever people speak words over you, that is powerful, which is why you don't want people just saying anything over you. Don't listen to what everybody say, right? Don't listen to people who try to bring you down and tell you that you are something you are not. But in this case, it's a very powerful thing, because Isaac was going to bless his son with riches, with prosperity, with all of that. And even here, Jacob deceives Isaac, right? So it says Rebekah and Jacob scheme. So the mom, Rebekah, found out that Isaac was going to bless the firstborn, and she told Jacob to get ready, and she's going to go in the place of Esau so that he can get the blessing, okay? And Jacob said to his mom, "Behold, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I'm a smooth man." Because Esau was very hairy. It said that when he was born, he was a hairy little boy. Which I don't know how hairy he was, because, like, I'm just, look. But anyways, and Jacob ain't have no hair. He had baby skin all over. So because of that, though, they dressed him up, because Isaac's eyes were dim. So he couldn't see, but he could feel and stuff like that. He could hear. All his other senses was working, but he couldn't see. So here's what they did. Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, clothes, which were in her house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And then she put the skins of goats, so she put their hair and stuff, on the smooth of his neck. Okay, so now Jacob is dressing up as Esau. And we're not going to brush past the fact that his mom was a part of trying to deceive so that Jacob could get something, right? Because she also didn't realize what Jacob had. Sometimes you don't realize what you have, what your value is, and sometimes it makes it even harder because the people around you don't realize it either. Rebekah wouldn't have been doing all of this if she would have remembered the word from God, which was that the older one would serve the younger one. And she would have realized that Jacob is going to be the stronger one. Jacob has a gift of his own. Jacob has his own thing that is going for him. Then she wouldn't have tried to make him something that he's not. Do not let people try to make you something that you're not. Because if Jacob would have known his value, when Rebekah was trying to turn him into Esau, he would have been like, "No, I don't need to do all of that. I'm Jacob. I'm Jacob. I'm proud to be Jacob. I have my own gifts as Jacob that I am giving over and sacrificing once I decide to try to be someone else." So anyways, that doesn't happen. That's just, that's a fictional world. But Jacob ends up dressing up as Esau. He ends up trying to become Esau. Who are you trying to become who is not yourself? It does no justice to you, okay? No one could be you better than you, and that's the case for anyone. So when you try to become someone else, you're never going to be your best self. All right, so anyways, here he is walking around looking like a goofy. And he goes up to Isaac and he plays as Jacob. Isaac is like, "Who are you?" And he said, I am Esau, your firstborn. I've done what you asked me to. And so now here I am. Please sit and eat so that you may bless me. Okay. And Isaac asking him questions like, how you do that so quick? Is this really you? Right? Because when you're not being you, it's going to be easy for other people to tell. People going to see stuff and they're going to be like, is that really you? Like, it's just stuff stands out. Stuff looks awkward. Stuff feels awkward. But regardless, he succeeded in deceiving Isaac. Okay. And Isaac gave Jacob the blessing because he was being who he was not. Now Esau comes back. He doesn't know what happened. He's ready to get the blessing from his dad, and he tells his dad, like, it's me, Esau. And Isaac gets livid. He's like, who then was just here a second ago who I gave all the blessing to? Like, you kind of late, Esau. Who was that? And Esau is so hurt and then furious because ever since birth, Jacob has been going after him, trying to take stuff from him, deceiving him, and all of that. And Esau has done nothing to him. Okay. So now Esau is livid. He is ready to murder Jacob, literally, because it was real back then. And Jacob runs away. Okay, when you're not you, it's more likely for you to retreat. Now you feel like you have things to hide. Now you get caught up in stuff that you shouldn't have been getting caught up in because you weren't being yourself. And that's what happens to Jacob. Now Jacob is caught up in a lie. Now Jacob is caught up into trouble, into things that he would not have been involved in. And he ends up running because it's a lot. Okay? And that could be running literally. That could be running figuratively, like just running away from a situation, going ghost, running away from your emotions, running away from your real self. And that's what happens. Now look at this, look at this, look at this. Despite all of this stuff that happens, it does not keep God from blessing him, right? And finally, Jacob is able to see that Jacob has his own favor. Jacob has his own thing that is special about him. Jacob has this thing, this future that is specifically for him. So this is the part where Jacob gets left in a situation where it's very hard, where he doesn't know what's going to happen. And because of that, he ends up being isolated. And there are going to be times in your life where you end up being isolated as well. And the situation may look very hard, but it's exactly what you need in order to get to that next part of you. That's what happens to Jacob. Jacob is getting ready to meet Esau. Esau, the one who is ready to kill him because Jacob has done everything to him. But Jacob wants to make up for Esau. He has no idea what's going to happen. He is convinced that Jacob is still going to kill them because somebody was like, hey, I see Esau. He's coming your way with an army of men. And Jacob like, oh crap, we about to die. So Jacob is separating himself from people because he doesn't want other people to be impacted. He doesn't want other people to die as well. And now he's at a point where he is all alone. And while he is alone, he wrestles with an angel. And I feel like this is metaphorical for wrestling with yourself and wrestling with God. Okay. At the end of the fight, what happens is the angel says to him, what is your name? And Jacob answers Jacob. And that is so powerful for two reasons. One, I want you to realize that this angel was from God. He already knew Jacob's name. He already knew the boy's name. He ain't need to know the name. He ain't need to ask what the name was. That was for him. Because last time we saw Jacob trying to be someone he was not. We saw Jacob trying to become Esau. We saw Jacob saying, I am Esau. And God is like, if you them, I can't bless you the way I was going to bless you because you're not you. You're being them. I can only bless you when you are being yourself, when you are being true to who you are. So when Jacob confesses, I am Jacob, when he expresses and explains who he is, I am Jacob, that opens the door for the blessing. And he said, thy name shall no more be Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. So he changed his name to Israel, right? Now that he was being who he was, now God can reveal to him who he really is, right? Because you have two parts of you. I had a part of me that I thought I was, and then God revealed to me who I really was, right? I thought I was a liar, but God revealed to me that I am honest. I thought I was selfish, but God revealed to me that I am generous and I love people, okay? I thought I did not like people and I only liked animals, but God revealed to me once again that I have a love for people and I want to help them in life, okay? And that's what he just did for Jacob. He showed him like, okay, yes, you are Jacob, but who you really are is Israel, because Jacob means the deceiver. And up to this point, that's what Jacob has been doing, deceiving. But God right then just showed him, you are not a deceiver, but you are Israel. You are a promise. You were born on purpose. You have a big future ahead of you. You are not your sin. You are not what you messed up on. You are someone greater. Okay? And that's what he expresses to him when he does that. And that is the start of him tapping into who he truly is and what he was meant to do. Now, the next time Jacob and Esau meet, instead of taking, trying to take everything from Esau, now he's giving. And he's insisting that Esau takes. He's like, no, please, here. Like, you see, it says, and he lodged there that night and took to hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats, 20 he-goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine, and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 foals. Okay, he gave all of that to Esau. It's such a big difference, right? Like, ooh, Jacob, hello? Is that still you? Because before, all Jacob was focused on is taking. But now Jacob understands who he is. Jacob understands that he is already valuable. He doesn't need to take from someone else because he has his own value. He has his own future. He has his own. God is looking after him too. Like, you know, he is not neglected. So he's giving. And Esau even came up to him. He like, oh, what's all this? Like, why you send all this? And Jacob is like, these are for you. I hope to find grace. You know, look. And Esau's like, no, I have enough. You keep that. You're good. I'm good. You're good. And Jacob's like, no, keep it. I insist. Please receive my present. Okay. This is the part where he shows that now he realizes who he is, what he has, and that he doesn't need to take from others. Take, I pray, my blessing that is brought to you, because God has been so gracious to me, and because I have enough. That is what he said. He understands that God is looking over him. God cares about him. And God will always provide for him. So he doesn't need to take from others. Now he can give. That's beautiful, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm looking for that type of transformation, okay? So what I want y'all to understand from this is just that you have to be yourself. You are already special. You are already amazing. And you already have something specifically for you that you cannot access if you're so focused on being someone else who doesn't even have your favor. Okay? That's all, y'all. I'm excited. I'm done. Bye.